Welcome back to Warzone Workshop. Today we're going to be taking a look at this, which is my WeTech Scar Light. One of my WeTech Scars. I have a few. But first, let me go ahead and just take a look at that. Let's take a look at how it is with the M3 Pro. Look at that. Go ahead and fold your stock down so it's not in your face. You can relax. Then when you need to use it, you get that gun up there. Go to work. Tan guns look pretty good with the MM14 Ukraine digital camo. It looks pretty good with the tan gun next to it. Let's go ahead and detach that. Now, an important thing about the Scar and AK platform and other side charging handle platforms like the L85, when you're doing stuff with them, just try not to lay them down charging handle side on hard surfaces. It's just not good. You shouldn't do that. You shouldn't smack things up against this. You shouldn't drop the weight of it with all of its stuff on top of a hard surface. It's a bad idea. Just lay it down on the flat side. Normally why they have one. Let's go ahead and grab a standard magazine. Normally this is what's going to come with your gun, unless you're buying it used. Now, grab an empty one. We'll go ahead and put this in. Seated, nice and snug. Will the bolt open? Bolt locks open. Bolt close. Listen to this. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Eject that. Go ahead and see if that PMag locks in nice and good. Does it lock that bolt? Wait. gotta turn on your bolt hold open. It's that little tab right here. You just move this thing back and forth and this piece will come up and down. Then your bolt locks open. And of course you can close your bolt with the bolt closed. Yeah. Nice. And of course the Balistyka mag pouches. Fits them nicely. They tuck in nice and flush here. And when you need it, you get it right out. This is a very nice, very low profile setup that I got here. And it holds them in nice and snug, but I can still get them even when I can't pull them directly up. I gotta pull them out, and luckily they got that spring on them, that spring tension. So pull it out, pull it up, slap in it. It's fantastic. I love this plate carrier, these mag pouches. And if you want the same effect, you can use your plate carrier that you already have. Just pick up these mag pouches. The link will be in the section down below. But let's get back into the maintenance involved in the Scar L. It's the same for the Scar Heavy. Mine has a Scar Light weapon charm. And this is the perfect place to put a weapon charm on a Scar. I have a video in the link below of me doing that. To put one of these on. It's for my bullpup Scar. But let's go ahead and pop this open. To do so, we're just going to take the body pin up here at the front. We're going to pop that out. See, I can do it with my hand. There we go. And then the lower, there you go. Lower comes right off. It clips into the back with that little lug there. Go ahead and lay that down. Here's my bolt carrier. Now to get my bolt out, unfortunately I'm going to have to take the stock off. So that just slides right down. It can only slide down after you've taken the lower receiver off, by the way. So then you just slide that down. You got your spring guide with your little buffer at the back of it. Then slide that bolt carrier to the rear. Your charging handle will just come right out. If you want, drop a comment down below, and we'll pick up a custom bolt knob for this gun. It needs something. Pretty. This one's the generic stock one that comes with it. Let's do something better than that. Maybe something black or chrome. And then you got your bolt and your bolt carrier. Now the Scar's got this really cool bolt carrier. This is a stock one, and it's got damage to it, but it still works, and that's how good the design is. So if you look here, this is broken at the rear. It cracked, but it still chugs right along because the Scar is a beast, and the WeTech one is too. It's fantastic, and it's got these 4 little wheels on the top, and this is the charging handle goes in here. Charging handle goes right in here, and then it rotates into the little lugs and pushes forward. And it can only come out when you take the bolt carrier to the very, very back, and you can only get there after you've taken the stock out. So it doesn't just come out by itself. It's only during disassembly. But that's where that is. So then when you're racking the gun, you're actually pulling all of this material backwards and then letting it go forward. This is inside the upper receiver. So when you're charging it, you're pulling all of this, and that's reciprocating backwards. The real version, the real weapon, would then kick out your spent brass, and then it would be pushed forward by your spring guide. Your little spring guide here goes in here, and so you pull against it, kick out your spent casing, and then it would slide forward. On the real one, it would pick up a bullet out of the magazine. On the airsoft one, that little part of the nozzle goes into this little groove in the magazine, and boop, boop, pushes the BB out and puts the BB into the chamber right in front of the nozzle. So that's how that looks inside the gun. So then, boom, fires, reciprocates back, goes forward, picks up the next one, boom, fires. Now how the firing happens for a gas gun is all in the lower. You got your hammer here, put it to semi-auto, pull the trigger, and you see that right there. If you look right in here, that shiny piece is this. It's the knocker, the gas valve for the magazine. And on a gas blowback rifle, this hammer pushes the firing pin, for lack of a better word, into that little valve knocker. Boom. That's what shoots gas out the magazine into the bolt carrier from here to here. That's why the two of them have to meet up perfectly. And that's why you got to keep it nice and lubricated. You got to keep that rubber gasket good, so that the gas goes up into it, and then through the magical trickery that is gas and how it flows, it sends this thing rocketing backwards, which trips the hammer at the back of the bolt carrier. It interacts with the hammer, setting the hammer backwards, and it goes chugga, 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 but it's being pushed on by that spring, remember? So then that spring's like, whoa, hold up, and it sends it back into battery, which is to say it puts it back into the chamber, picks up the bullet, and boop, stops right there. And then you're waiting for your hammer to drop again, boop, and that's what fires the next one. But with the gas blowback gun, not all of the gas is pushing the bolt back. Only part of it. Most of it. I think most of it pushes the bolt back. The rest of the gas comes out the front of this nozzle and pushes your BB down that barrel, flying out towards your enemies. This would be sick, by the way. Just a tiny little gas rifle. I should make a little gas pistol build. That'd be fun. I'd have to use something like the Scar that doesn't have a whole lot of travel for the bolt carrier, so that I could have a pretty stockless, kind of like my Call of Duty mod, but even more compact. I might have to do it with like a PDW. Just remove the stock and then just take that barrel and try to get it shorter. That'd be really fun, actually. I might try that. Stay tuned. But that's how it works. And that's why it needs lubrication. So let's talk about what we're going to do to lubricate it. So very simple. We're going to take some premium Airsoft Innovations gas lubricant, and we're going to put it inside the bolt carrier here and along all the parts that have metal on metal friction. We're going to put it all over the O-ring so that the nozzle's able to do its job. This one's it hasn't been fired since I last lubricated it, so I'm just going to put it back together. It's in great shape. But that's the important part. So you just got to lubricate the insides of your bolt, and then clean the inside of the tracks that it rides on. Maybe put a little bit of grease in there so that it has a smoother ride, so that it goes and sounds real good and doesn't get all gritty and difficult to do. Let's go ahead and put it back together. Now, to get the gun put back together, we're going to go ahead and take our bolt carrier. We're going to go ahead and slide that in. It's got these little tracks that it sits on. You can't possibly mess it up. You ride it all the way up so that that little hole right there lines up. This is how you change what side your charging handle's on. If you wanted to, you can put it on this side, or you can put it on this side. And that's a cool feature about the Scar. It allows you to change that. You put it in and you rotate it, and then you slide it forward. Now you got your bolt in. But you need your spring guide. So here's your spring guide. You put that in. Now, push that all the way in. And you take your stock. Slide your stock back on. That spring guide pushes up against the stock there. And there you go. Now you got your upper receiver done. Put back together. Go ahead and put our lower back on. That's super simple. You just clip it in at the back. Go ahead and put that in. Lower it down. Make sure it's in the right position. All the way back. All the way down. And then knock that pin back in. And you're good to go. You're ready to rock out with your cock out. You know what I mean? Then you're good to go. Now, this Scar L has an M-lock rail. I believe I did a video on that. If so, it's in the comment down below. And that is a beautiful rail. I strongly suggest you put M-lock on your Scar. It just makes it so much slicker. It matches up great with the upper receiver. And it just looks badass. Especially when you put your suppressor down and it mates up with it, so that it doesn't even look like there's really an outer barrel. It's just receiver. This is a piece that comes with the kit, and then suppressor. Boom! It's just so good looking. So good, in fact, that I did the same thing with my Scar Heavy. I got a black M-lock rail and added that to it. Now, this is the same process, and it's got an aftermarket charging handle, but it's the same process to clean this thing. It's just the parts are a little bigger because it's 308 762 NATO. Look at that chunky girl. She a thick girl. Look at that. Now, I know what you're thinking. I want to get a Scar Heavy. That thing's sick. Hear me out. If you get one, go ahead and pick yourself up some Balistyka mag pouches. I know you're wondering why. I already have mag pouches. Yeah, but can they take Scar Heavy mags? Look at that. Look how effortless this is. You just take it. Boom. And I'll see you next time in the war zone.